go down to Jerome's. So unfortunately for the Vikings, it is the offseason. You got free agency leading into the draft. And now free agency does affect the draft because if you lose more free agents with expiring contracts than you sign free agents with expiring contracts, that means you're going to be in line for some draft pick compensation. You may be entitled for some draft pick compensation in the subsequent draft. And for the Vikings, they're projected to get a third rounder in 2025 because of Kirk Cousins. Nick Corte here is over the cap's 2025 compensatory pick projection. Now, the NFL comp pick formula is proprietary, but Over the Cap and other sites do a very good job at reverse engineering it, so they're pretty damn accurate. So the Vikings are in line for some draft pick love because of Kirk Cousins leaving, signing to that 5-year, $150 million deal with $100 million guaranteed with the Falcons. For that, we thank you. And the Vikings would have been in line for some more nice with Danielle Hunter, but we'll get into it, right? So now the Vikings are projected to have their first rounder, 24, ideally. That third round comp pick probably is going to be first in the stack, so it's going to be number 97 overall, which is nice at the back in the third round. They're 2 fifth-rounders, one from the Za'Darius deal. So funny. I can't wait for Za'Darius to join the Browns, so it just hits for the NFC North cycle. Now, we've also seen conflicting reports. Some sites have the Vikings having the Steelers' 7th-round pick from the Jesse Davis trade. Some don't. But who really knows? It's a 7th-round pick at the end of the day, and Quace is just going to screw it up anyway. Yeah, whatever. But Over the Cap, their cancellation chart has it like this. So what's interesting is that even though, say, like Cousins and Danielle have a third-round comp value, they can be canceled out by 4th, 5th, 6th rounders, etc. But the Vikings lost Cousins, Danielle, Wanham, Davenport, Hicks, KJ Osborne. They counted in the formula per Over the Cap. And then the Vikings brought in AVG, Cashman, Grenard, Slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, and Shaq Griffin. Now, remember, Aaron Jones doesn't count in this formula because he was cut by the Packers. So it doesn't ding you if you sign a cut player. Also, if you cut your own player who still has years left on his deal, he does not count in the formula either. So that's something to keep in mind. So I know that Kwesi got a lot of flack during free agency. It was like, oh, did the Vikings cost themselves an extra third-round pick because they signed Shaq Griffin? I don't see it like that. It came down because the Vikings were projected for 2/3 because of Kurt and Danielle, but I think it really is more of the totality of the free agent class versus just Shaq being in there at the end. I think that's what it is. So basically, the Vikings traded a third-round comp pick at the back end of the third round for Grenard, AVG, Cashman, and Darnold for this year, which I'm perfectly okay with. Right? Or, again, maybe Kwesi is reading all the media that he's bad at drafting, so just like F them picks. Also could be it as well. Now, for the 2026 draft, the Vikings are in an interesting spot. So, obviously, with $78 million in cap space, there are going to be some big-time players in free agency. But just by sheer number of players with expiring contracts, which the really good GMs do, they stack up players that have expiring deals. They sign players that are either cut or they go all in on a few specific free agents, big money deals that, like we said, even third-round comp picks can be canceled out by a 5th or 6th. But Darnold, off an expiring deal, he's going to get paid somewhere else huge. Daniel Jones, potentially if he leaves, is going to get paid as well. You got Cam Robinson, who was brought in as a half-season rental to replace Darisaw. He's probably going to get $15-16 million bucks in free agency to play left tackle for someone. And also, I would like to keep Beasley or Byron Murphy Jr. Also, you don't get penalized by keeping your own guys, which is kind of nice. But if they leave, they're going to be huge additions to the comp pick formula. Aaron Jones, if he leaves, Harrison Smith has an expiring deal. I don't really see him playing anywhere else. So I think he retires or comes back to the Vikings, but I guess you never know. So, yeah, Kwesi has set up the Vikings pretty nicely to be able to get some 2026 draft pick comp, as well as having a ton of cash to be players in free agency in their own right. So it's certainly possible and plausible. The Vikings signed some big names in free agency, whether it's DJ Reed, the corner from the Jets, or Trey Smith, the guard from the Chiefs, or Mekhi Becton, the guard from the Eagles, Osa Odigizua, the defensive tackle from the Cowboys. And they still have so many players leaving in free agency with expiring contracts that they're still able to get comp picks. And teams can have a maximum of 4 comp picks in a year. So maybe we'll max things out. Certainly would be kind of nice. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings are in line for a third-round comp pick, number 97 overall, per Over the Cap. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.